Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this ANPUDS 3/8" drive torque wrench. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So the range on this is 5 to 45 foot-pounds or 6.8 to 61 newton meters. The ratchet is a 72 tooth mechanism and it comes with a variety of sockets and attachments and such. So let's get this open. So it has a blow molded case. It comes with an inspection certificate, and here we have a manual. So you'll probably want to read through this to ensure the proper operation, but I will go over a lot of this in the video. So before I get to the torque wrench, we'll look at what comes with it. It comes with a variety of Torx and hex sockets. So we have T25, T27, T30, T50, and then in hex we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10. It comes with some spark plug sockets. This is a 14 millimeter and this is 16 millimeter. We have a universal joint. We have an extension. It has knurling on it. I like that. We have a 1/4 inch extension. We have a 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapter. And then we have sockets. And these are 8, 9, 10, and I assume 11 here. Oh, and then there's some on the other side here. We have 12, 13, 14. And then 3/8 inch socket, we have 15, 10, and 8. Now, of course, you can use your own sockets with this too. So let's take a look at the torque wrench. So this is made of aluminum. Now this will work forward and reverse according to the Amazon description. We can press the button here to lock the socket in place. Press it again to release. We can switch direction here. So that has that 72 tooth mechanism. So that's going to give you a shorter arc. You can hear it there. And then to adjust the torque, we'll pull down on this and we'll turn it to the torque we want. So say we want 10, let's say we want 15 foot-pounds. We'll rotate it till the 0 lines up with the 15. Now I've seen this on many torque wrenches. You want to make sure you're lining up with the line that is on the center. You don't want to line it up with this top line here. And people who are used to using torque wrenches know that, but there might be people new to torque wrenches, so I want to point that out. Now if we flip it over, we have newton meters. Most of the stuff I do is in foot-pounds, but every once in a while I'll do newton meters, so you can adjust that there. And then when you're done using it, I like to back it off, and then you can put it away for storage. So some torque wrenches have something you tighten and loosen to adjust it. This one, you just pull in here. Every once in a while that nut will get tight. This one, you don't have that problem. Now this is made of aluminum, so it's relatively lightweight. When you go to torque something, let me find a wrench I can put on here. I'll put this socket on and I will load this up a little bit. We'll go to 10 foot-pounds. Now normally you put this on a spark plug or some other kind of bolt. I'm actually just going to use my wrench here to give some resistance. And when you use this, you want to hold it by the handle. You don't want to choke up on it. And then you want to press it and tighten until you hear that click. So if you see the head here, you're going to see this angle here. It's very subtle. Might be easier to see further away. And I'm not choked up the way I'm holding this. Let's do this. So that's all it is. So if you're tightening something, when it does that, you'll be at the correct torque. So once it hits that click, if you keep tightening, you're going to over torque. And one thing about torque wrenches is you're trying to hit a specific torque, but also important is consistency. So when you have your technique of tightening, you want to do that on all of the bolts. So if you're tightening down, say a cylinder head on an engine, you have a certain pattern you do, but you want to use the same technique to tighten everything down because you want that to be at the correct torque, but you also want the torque to be consistent. So if the torque is off a little bit, you at least want it to be even everywhere. So I'm going to find some things I can actually tighten with this, and I'll add that video now. Okay, so I'm out here at my lawnmower, and I have the mower blade here. So let's assume I'm wanting to sharpen this. So the first thing I need to do is remove it. So on this, I put a screwdriver here. And when you loosen things, you don't want to use the torque wrench. They're really just made for tightening. So here I have a breaker bar. You could use some kind of wrench or ratchet. So I'll loosen this up. So that's plenty loose now. So I could take the blade off and sharpen it. So now to tighten it, I'll put the bit on the torque wrench, and the torque on this is supposed to be, I think it's 36 to 43. So I'll turn this to the correct torque. So there's 42.5. That should work well. Now I can pull up on this or push down. It's going to be easier to torque it by pushing down. So you can see when I had tension on that, it was a very pronounced click. So that should be good to go. So this is a pretty simple example. Now if you're working on an engine, you may have to torque multiple bolts in a certain pattern. Sometimes you have to torque it to one level and then retorque it to another, but the process is the same. So that's the ANPUDS 3/8" drive torque wrench. I like the feel of this. It feels like a nice quality torque wrench. It has this nice blow molded case. Everything seemed very secure in it, even after shipping. So it has a lot of standard sizes in here. A torque wrench like this would be great for working on bicycles, motorcycles, cars, and other things. This is going to work well with the lower end ranges of torque. It's also shorter than a, say, 1/2" torque wrench. So if you're in tighter spaces, this will work better. And the accessories that come with it seem very nice. They have things like knurling on them, and they're made of chrome vanadium. And in my younger years, I didn't pay as much attention to torque, but as I gain more experience, and especially as materials get to be a little bit more high performance, torque can be very important to get things as tight as they need to be without over tightening. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.